So time to just breathe, and not breathe as we always breathe without thinking about it, but breathe thinking about breath and thinking about where that breath is going, and then controlling it and changing it a little bit so that we are using much more conscious breath. So sit up nice and tall, right from your sit bones up to the crown of your head, lifting, allowing the shoulders to be relaxed. And sometimes if you move them around a little, that allows you to find any places where you're perhaps holding on, and then you can let go. And the same with your neck and anywhere else where you hold your attention. Just taking your attention to that place, that area, and giving it a bit of movement. Maybe it's your jaw. And then mentally giving yourself permission to relax all those muscles. Close your eyes. And let's breathe in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. And I invite you to bring some control into the breath by making it longer. So slowing down the in-breath, and then markedly slowing down the out-breath. So the out-breath is longer than the in-breath. And maybe you'd like to count and just see where naturally that count comes to. Maybe you're counting in and you get to 4 or 5. And then when you're breathing out, just try and increase that count so that you go beyond. So if your in-breath was 4, try and breathe out for 6 or longer. And like anything with the breath, the more you practice, the more you spend time in conscious breath, and ideally you would do that several times a day, and you can do it anywhere. You can be sitting waiting for somebody in your car and just take 3 conscious breaths, or you could be in the middle of actually doing something else, chopping vegetables or typing a letter. Does anybody type a letter, I suppose, on the computer? And just to be able to drop into that conscious breath. And the more you do it, the more control you have over it, and actually the more return you get from the action of using control on your breath. And the benefits, well, what are the benefits? The benefits are basically turning your system from being in fight or flight into a state of calm. And obviously it doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, you can change that state of being much quicker. So you can head off any anxiety at the pass, and you can also, once you're in a state of heightened arousal of some sort, so whether that's a stress response or an anxiety response or an anger response, you're able to switch that much quicker. And remember to switch it as well. And remember that you have the power to switch it, because quite often, if you haven't got that practice of control over your breath, you don't remember that you have that tool in your toolkit when you most need it. So definitely a worthwhile thing to practice. So keep going. I'm talking, but you're hopefully still breathing, still practicing that control of your breath, and trying to elongate the out breath, breathing in through your nostrils and breathing out through your mouth, and being very observant of where that breath is going, where you can feel that breath going in your body. And what we're really looking for here is, with this conscious breath, to take the breath into your chest, feel your ribs expand, feel that the whole space becomes much bigger, filled up. You've got that feeling of expansion in the sides of your body as well, and between your shoulder blades, the movement there. Feeling that you can take it down into your belly. Obviously, do not breathe into your belly. Your breath is contained solely in your lungs, but it's the movement of your diaphragm down, and it's also that feeling of expansion and movement then into the whole of your torso. So that's what you're looking for with a very full breath. And there are benefits to belly breath, and there are benefits to diaphragmatic breath, and there's also benefits to shallow breath. So it's not that one breath is better or worse than the others. What tends to happen, though, is that when we're not conscious of our breath, we are generally only breathing just in a very shallow manner and not utilizing the whole of the lungs. And we need to do that because we would be exhausted if we did full on belly breaths the entire time. And that isn't healthy either. So, yeah. So the way you breathe every day, all day is wonderful and fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if you can practice your deep breath as well, then you are really ahead of the game. So keep breathing. And you'll find your consciousness wandering here and there. Try and bring it back firmly to your breath. And we are going to move in a moment, I promise. You make the next breath as slow as you possibly can. So slow it right down. Lovely. Let's take arms out to the side. And on the next inhale, let's move with the arms, making a different kind of space in the torso. Don't allow your arms to come forward. Keep them slightly behind you. Feel your shoulder blades are engaged all the way up with a single breath, and then back down with an out breath. So exhaling the arms down, inhaling the arms up. And move with your breath. So if you are having to breathe in a little faster, move the arms faster. What we might be hoping to see here, if you're carrying on in the same rhythm of breath, would be a fairly rapid movement up with the arms and then a very slow movement down. And press, so send your fingertips away from you. Feel that you're moving out of your shoulder, out of this nice ball and socket joint here. Is it a ball and socket joint? Yes, of course it is. Oh, anatomy and physiology fail first thing in the morning. So all the way up and then slowly down, but reaching out as if you're trying to touch the walls on either side of you. Reach, 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 reach. And then one more time, bringing it up. This time squeeze as if you're holding a giant big squishy ball above you and you're squeezing it smaller and smaller and smaller. And then to expand, stretch, move, breathe all the way down. Lovely. Bring your hands back to center. And let's just do some warming up for the neck. Tipping the head forward. Keeping the spine long. Bringing your chin to your chest. And I want you to see where you can feel that in your back. Can you feel it right down into your mid-back? Can you feel it into your lower back, perhaps? Can you feel it more on one side than the other? Bring your head back up. Change the cross of your legs. So whichever way around you had them, switch them around and sit up tall again. And let's take the chin to the chest one more time. Feel as if you are pressing down on the back of your head to intensify that stretch. So you're using your muscles, not your hands. Press down. Can you get your chin to touch your chest? And allow your head to come back up again. And let's take the chin up, so the back of the head coming down, and send your chin up. This time, we're also going to move the chin. So send your chin, jut it forward, stretch out all those muscles in your neck and your throat. So sending your bottom jaw up. And release. Head back to center. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. You can stretch the left hand away. You're just sort of patting a dog beside you. Bring some movement in. Just gentle up and down movements with the hand, and you can bring it forward and take your hand back, and notice if you feel any difference in the stretch in the side of your neck. And come back to center. Same on the other side. So left ear to left shoulder, hand out to the side. Just kind of patting the dog. You might actually even have a dog in with you. If not, imaginary doggy. And then moving the arm forward and back. There we go. And then come back to center. Right. So this time we are going to we've kind of done our neck movements. Distracted by seeing what's going on with you guys. Bring your legs out to the front. Send your feet forward and pull your toes back towards you. So we've warmed up the top part over here, and we're now going to move down the spine a little. So inhaling the arms up and exhale, fold. Don't fall very far, just come forward, reach forward as if you are going to do row your boat with somebody, and sending your hands forward, send your shoulders forward. Can you stretch your shoulders so that you're pulling your shoulder blades away from each other and slightly rounding your back? So sending your mid back out. Turn sideways might be more helpful. So we're reaching forward. Sit bones are still anchored nicely. Toes are pulling back towards you. You're sending your arms out. See the big difference there? You're not just reaching forward, but you're reaching forward with your whole arm. So sending the shoulders forward and then rounding through the back, as if somebody's just pulling your mid back out behind you. Okay, so we're not really folding forward closer to our legs particularly, just sending the mid back out. Allow your head to come forward and down if it needs to. So your gaze is just at your knees, and then come back up. Allow your arms to come back into their sockets. Bring your hands down and just rest for a moment. Now we're going to leave the left leg where it is and raise the right leg. So take your right leg off. Try not to move your body, just still sitting up nice and straight. Don't lean back or forward. And just squeeze that thigh, bringing your leg off. We're going to do lots of one-legged stuff today. So just warming up the thigh here. Squeeze, 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 lift, 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 lift. And lower. Not a big movement, but can be quite challenging. And let's do the same on the other side. So hands are just probably just on the floor either side of you, and don't push down into them. Lift the left leg up. They're just resting here. So lift. You'll probably find that there's not a huge range of movement there. See if you can engage your torso here. Notice what's going on, what muscles you're using in your midriff. Again, not leaning back. Lift, 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 squeeze, 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 and lower. Okay, let's inhale the arms up again. And fold forward. This time, reach forward and allow your whole back to move with you. We're not sending the mid back out behind, we're bringing everything forward. So come forward as far as you are comfortable and allow your hands to drop down. Hold on to your legs or your feet, and we're going to use the hands to just gently draw forward, but draw forward from your midriff. Don't just draw forward from the top of your back. So sending your belly forward. Stay upright a little so that you start the movement the right way. So inhale and exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold forward. And keep moving with your own breath at your own pace. And only when you are as far forward as you are going to get, then you can allow your head to drop forward and down if you wish. Don't forget to breathe. It's a really lovely spinal stretch. And super important if you're doing lots of high intensity training or lots of strength work, to make sure that you maintain your flexibility as well. That's it, lovely. Keep moving with your breath. Bring yourself forward. And when you're ready, just gently slide your hands back up again. Let's come into a reverse plank. So take your hands on the floor behind you, fingertips pointing forwards towards your feet. Make your arms nice and long, engage all those muscles, and then send your hips up, send your toes down towards the mat. You might have to walk away a little. So nice strong glutes here. Squeeze, lift your chest, neck is long, head is working hard here because you want to keep it in line with the rest of your body. Breathe, 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 squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Well done. If you need to come out and come back in, but we're just going to hold for 5. You can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. And we're going to inhale the arms up and exhale, fold forward. Fold forward into Paschimottanasana again. And bring yourself back up. One more time. Last one. I'm just going to do this one more time. So hands where they need to be. Toes to the mat. Squeeze and lift. Bring yourself into your reverse plank. Squeeze and breathe. Give those thighs a bit of a squeeze as well. Lengthen through the belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around, drop your head. Rounding through the back. Bring yourself up into a squat. Take yourself into a wide-legged squat. Cannot speak this morning. Nice wide leg squat. And let's bring some movement into the hips. So sliding over from side to side. Keep it quite low. If this is bothering your knees or your hips, bring it in a lot closer. And then just keep that movement quite contained. If you're not bothered by knees or hips today, take your legs out further and really bring some movement in there. Wake up the feet. So bring yourself up onto your toes and then use the power in your feet to slide you over from side to side. Hands are kind of resting, or arms are resting, but not too much. How is that going? And slowly bring yourself higher and higher. You might not have as much movement as you get higher up, and all the way to standing. And we're going to come from here into a balanced posture. So we're going into tree Vrikshasana. Let's start with the left leg. Send your weight down into the mat. As always, if you're having trouble balancing, come over onto some ground floor. A hard surface. Carpet is not very helpful when you're trying to balance. But the good news is it's more of a challenge. So your body has to work harder to keep you balanced. So here we are. First expression. Stay here or come further up. Remembering to breathe. And then finally bringing your heel into your groin, making that good connection there. You need to be really squeezing the muscles on your standing leg, trying to make them like a tree trunk. So as if you're made of wood. Focus on an unmoving spot about 2.5 meters ahead of you. And focus as well in your mind on trying to squeeze your glutes to bring this knee out to the side. So right knee is coming out to the side. Lift your chest. Lift your sternum. Lift your chin slightly. Take your shoulders so that they are open, bringing the shoulder blades together. Lengthen through the sides of the body as well. Try and feel that you are level in your hips. You can use your hands to test. And then we are going to do whatever you want to do with the arms. So you can either come out to side if you're a bit wibbly wobbly today. And if you're not, then the ultimate challenge, as you know, is to close your eyes in this asana, which I'm not going to do today because I'm clearly not very steady on my one leg. If you have your hands above your head, squeeze the palms together and continue to lift through your sternum, lengthening through the belly. Standing on one leg and having to balance switches on lots of muscles, little muscles in your torso and your hips to help you balance. So some of those little muscles that have a little bit of a rest and a free ride have to do some work now, which is good because we want all of our muscles to be working. They're the powerhouses of the body. We want the mitochondria to be firing away, using up lots of energy and detoxing the body in the process as well, getting rid of all the rubbish that we don't need. And then let's breathe the arms up and out. Well done. Let's come both feet on the ground. Weight into your right, and let's come to the left, being our off the ground leg. So pressing into your spleen point. Are your shoulders level? Are your hips level still? Try not to throw your hip out to the right side, your right hip. Bringing yourself up, leg. and then all the way up if it's appropriate for you. Otherwise, stay in one of the other expressions of this asana. Whoa, goodness me. I hope you're having a more balanced day than I am. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze that standing leg, left leg out to the side. And do the same on this side as you did on the other side. Lift through the belly and the sternum. Bring your attention to your breath. And keep your attention in your body. You hopefully have an hour of rest from thoughts that are intrusive or reminding us of all the things that we coulda, shoulda, woulda need to do. And smile. And when you're ready, come out or fall out like I just did. Let's bring the feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, reach forward. All the way. Just bring your hands gently near your feet or on your feet. Allow your head to be completely at rest. And then let's walk the feet back, or the hands, whichever, both, come into downward facing dog. Send your hips up. So lengthen through the whole of the back of your leg, on the right and the left. So both of them. And a big stretch all the way from your wrists to your sit bones. Well done. Stretch. And then look forward to your hands. Bring your knees down, but don't let them touch. So let's just hover a moment here. So hovering with the knees. Hover, hover, hover. And let them come back down to the mat. So tabletop position, let's come into gun dog. Release the tops of the feet flat to the mat. Take your right arm out. Try not to adjust the line of your head and neck. So head and neck in line with your spine. Right arm comes out. In line with your head, not touching, so just alongside your ear. And then we're going to send the left leg out. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Send it out behind you. And watch out for lifting. So watch out for your body trying to send that hip up as well and open up to the side. For now, we just want to keep the hips level and only lift the leg. So a little bit of a balance here. Use your core. Can you lift a little higher? And well done. Bring your hand back. Bring your knee back. And let's go straight over to the other side. So left arm out. Your gaze is just at the floor in front of you. Send your left arm, right leg. Whichever you did last time, do the opposite this time. Reaching forward. So stretch your fingers forward. Stretch your toes out behind you. Try not to collapse your back. So back is long and straight. You're not dipping in your lower back. Lift away from your arm. So long in that arm. Both arms, in fact. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arm back, bring the leg back. And let's do that again. One more time. Come on, be strong. Right arm goes out. Left leg goes out. Squeeze. Lifting up out of your left arm, so not collapsing down. You might find one side much easier than the other. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, 5, 4. Can you lift a little higher? 3, 2, and 1. Come back. And straight over to the other side. No rest here. Left arm, right leg. Again, lifting, keeping the back straight. Neck long. Breathe and squeeze. Can we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Send yourself back to Balasana. Well, I don't know about back to Balasana. We haven't been there yet today. So just to Balasana and really lengthen your whole torso here. So look up, press down into your hands, lengthen your body, and then just curl it down. Relax down over your thighs, head to your mat, and release your arms. Let them have a little bit of a rest. We've been working the arms a little. And bring your attention back to your breath. So here we can't breathe as deeply as we could before because we're quite restricted. We're squishing down onto our thighs. So I want you to just notice what it's like to try and breathe deeply, but to have that physical restriction. And see how far you can get to with that breath before you just don't have space for any more. And slow it down. One more breath here, then we're going to move again. And send your hands forwards. Look to your hands. And we're going to swoop forward. So stay low, stay low, stay low. Forearms to the mat. Chest as low as you can. Your bottom up in the air. Bring yourself forward. Swoop forward. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we're going to come up into upward facing dog. So the only thing that's touching the floor is the tops of your feet and the palms of your hands. Hanging down. If you're starting to feel any discomfort in your wrists, lift up out of your wrists. Push away, push the floor away from you. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your thighs. Your gaze is just a soft forward gaze. Send your chest forward. Bring your shoulders behind. And we're going to tip up into the upward facing dog. So tops of the feet are off your mat now. Toes are tucked under. And bring yourself into downward facing dog. Well done. Good job. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of balance work. So into a three-legged dog. Send your right leg out behind you. Now it's up to you. I know people love to come into wild thing from here, or that's when you send your leg right up and then tip out over to the side. So just have a play, free play. Woohoo! Do whatever you feel like doing. I am going to stay here in a very simple three-legged dog. But you make this as dynamic as you like. And then bring your knee in, bring your leg down, bring your knee all the way to your chest, bring your foot forward, and come into a lunge. So taking that back leg long, but knee off the floor, hands at either side of your foot. A nice low lunge. Just check that your ankle's under your knee. Hopefully it is. And then we're going to bring the hands to the thigh. And are you ready? Next step, taking the hands up. So a lovely lunge. Hopefully you can feel it in your left thigh, feel it in your right thigh, having to work. Send your sternum forward, lift your heart center. Let your gaze come up, head comes back just a little. Breathe. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands back down to your thigh, back down to the ground, and send that right foot back to meet the left. Come into a plank. From plank, we're going to come back into upward facing dog. So tops of the feet to the floor, bring your hips forward, but off the ground. Lift up, nice strong arms. Gaze is forward, heart center forward. Breathe. Hold. Into upward facing dog, tuck your toes under, send your hips back. Take a nice deep breath here. This time we're lifting the left leg off, so right leg anchored firmly on the floor. Try not to change the alignment of your back and arms. And lift your left leg. And whatever you did on the other side, do on this side as well. If you have a little play with Wild Thing, go ahead, come into Wild Thing. Otherwise, just hold and stay. Breathe. Think about how amazing your body is. And then lift your hands and let's swoop that left leg forward, knee to chest, and then stepping forward. Stay low. Nice lunge with the back leg, knees off the mat. And then let's bring our hands up to the left thigh. Ta-da! Subtract your annoying clothes that are disappearing here, there, and everywhere where they shouldn't be. And then let's take the arms up if you're feeling strong. If you don't feel like it, you can stay with your hands on your thigh. Just really working the legs here. The arms are just a bit of an add-on if you feel like it. Breathe. Can you sink a little lower? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands back to your thigh, back to the floor, and let's step the left foot back, come into plank again. And let's hold plank for a moment. If being up in a high plank is not for you, come into a low plank. So either or. And from here, we're going to come into a side plank. So wherever you like to do your side plank from, if you like to be high up, go high up. Otherwise low. Let's come over onto the right hand being on the floor, left hand, oops, up. So here, send your left foot forward if you want to balance. If you don't need as much balance, bring it back. And if you're quite balanced today, you can stack it on top. Lift up. So as if you're trying to grab something with this upper hand, lift. Send yourself up and out and away from the right hand on the floor. Neck and head are just in the same place. Don't move them. And if this needs more of a challenge for you, you can lift your leg off. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's flip and go straight over to the other side. Excuse me, I have my back to you, I'm sorry. Lift, 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 lift. And if you don't have any issues with your hips, you can have a little bit of a lift. If you're trying to rest your hips a little, don't aggravate, just stay here. And of course, you can always be in a low plank as well. Come back down, knees to the mat. And this time, send yourself back to Balasana again, because we have actually been in Balasana today. So back to Balasana. Now, knees together or knees wide, whichever you prefer. And allow your forehead to come down to the mat. Take your arms behind you or stretch them out in front. Whatever you feel your body needs more of, that's what we're going to give it. Hips to heels. And take yourself back to the rhythm of breath that you had right at the beginning. And your in-breath was slow and your out-breath was even slower. Keep your attention on your breath. Breathe in through the nostrils and out through your mouth. And bring yourself back up to kneeling again. We're going to come from here into Ustrasana. So bring yourself up. Allow a little bit of space between your knees, so your knees are under your hips. If you bring them completely together, they won't be under your hips. So take your toes under. If you want to use a little bit more padding under your knees, go ahead and put some padding under your knees, because this is quite strong on knees, especially if you've got bony knees. Hands to your lower back and have your fingers pointing downwards. Okay, so set up from behind is elbows pointing behind you as well, and fingers pointing downwards. And allow your hips to move forward, lengthening through the front of your body. So the body is still quite straight here, because you're just pushing your hips forward, not really curling much in the back. And then use your thighs, and strengthen your thighs, to pivot gently backwards, pushing more weight into your toes. And then if you have that space and that flexibility in your back, now you can send your hips forward even more and bring your shoulder blades together and send your heart center up towards the ceiling. Now, if you reach back, you might be able to reach an ankle. And with the other hand, you might be able to reach the other ankle. If not, you can stay with your hands on your hips and you can gently flex backwards and forwards using your strength in your thighs. Otherwise, if you have come into Ustrasana, you can allow your head to drop back. And of course, you can always just do one side, trying to open up as much as you can, but just keeping one arm down, and then come over to the other side. If doing both at the same time feels just a little bit too much for you today, or you have a are concerned about doing this asana, one side at a time is also fine. What do we do here? We're opening up the chest. Opening up the chest. We've already warmed up the spine, warmed up the back. And we're lengthening through the front of the body as well. Nice front body stretch all the way from your knees to your chin. Now to come out, come right up onto fingertips. Bring your hands back to your lower back. And gently come out the way that you went in. Release your feet now. And bring yourself to sit back on your feet. If this asana is not comfortable for you, you can always take your feet out to the sides. And you could be sitting on the floor with your legs out to the side. That's if your knees will let you do that. If not, bring yourself up and you can send your heels out to the side, toes are together, so you're sitting on your feet splayed out, not directly up poking into you. Although you could also do that too. Sit up nice and tall. And if this it really isn't for you for whatever reason, then send your legs out forward in Dandasana or staff pose. Take a breath here. We're going to come back up to standing. So take your hands down to the mat. Bring yourself into tabletop position, into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet and slowly uncurl to come back up to standing again. So last standing asana for today. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 3. So warrior 3. We're bypassing. Well, we kind of did a little bit of a warrior 1 with our low lunge earlier. So let's take your weight into your left leg and we're going to pivot on the hips. So hands to your hips, release your right foot, let it come out behind you. Bring your chest up and out, so heart center. And we're going to raise the arms up here. So in breath, arms up. And now we're going to pivot. So lots of strength in that left leg. We've warmed up. We've had our tree to do some warm up. We've opened up the hips. So we're going to pivot forward. So the arms will come forward. The body will come forward. Arms and body stay in a straight line. And your back leg goes out behind you. Always feel free to grab a piece of furniture or stay close to a wall, whatever you need. Fix your gaze on something that will stand still. If you want to, you can link your thumbs. It gives you a little bit of a help. Try not to flare the right hip up to the side. And reaching forward with your hands, reaching back with that leg. Well done. And come back up. Lots of strength in that leg, nice and slow. Well done. Let's do the other side. So right foot down. Really focus on what the sole of your foot feels like, whether you have complete balance, whether you have distributed your weight evenly between all parts of your foot that are touching the ground. Release the left. Notice that your hips are level. As soon as you take that left foot off, there's a tendency to shift the weight into the outside edge. And we don't want to do that because we're just going to start irritating bits that don't want to take the full load there. So keep your hips nice and level. Keep sending that foot out behind you. Inhale your arms up. Ready to pivot? Let's go. Slow, slow, slow. Lots of control. Link your thumbs if you want to. So diving, one-legged dive. Focus. If you come up, come back in. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up. Nice and slow. With control. Lovely. Bring yourself inhaling up. Exhale, full. Send your hands forward. All the way down. And just hang here for a moment. Bring yourself into squat, taking yourself down towards the mat. Sit back down. We're going to come into a last pretty active asana for today. You've done really well. Brilliant work. Very strong practice today. Lift your legs up. We're in Navasana. Take your hands off. So left leg stays, send the right leg down. And then let's swap. Bring your leg up. Send the left leg down. Hovering, not touching. Left leg comes up. Right leg comes down. If you want more of a challenge, straighten your top leg. Otherwise, left leg comes up again. Down again. Just keep alternating. Don't worry about me with my lefts and rights. One more. Come back up. Hold on and give yourself a hug. Allow your feet to come back down. Wrap your arms around. Forehead to your knees. Oh, take a nice deep breath. And another one. So we're going to roll down now. Make sure you have enough space. And then gently roll down to your mat. Keep your right leg pulled in. Left leg comes up. Point your toes towards your face. And then slowly draw your leg down towards the mat. Keep a really good firm hold of that right leg, pushing into your chest, pushing into your torso, pushing into your belly. Left leg slowly moving down, almost to the ground, but not all the way. And then bring it back up again. Feel that you're sending your lower back into the mat, pressing the lower back down, and pressing your sacrum down as well. Slowly bringing that leg back up, all the way. Switch, left leg in, right leg up, toes to face, and then gently and slowly traveling down. And this is our last active and dynamic asana. We'll be moving into more of a stretch. Almost to the ground and back. Pushing your lower back into the mat. Slow and slow and slow. Well done.
Good job. All the way back up. And grab both those legs, give them a hug, give them a rock from side to side. Oh, feel how lovely that is in your lower back. We've done quite a lot today, quite a lot of challenging asanas. Well done to one practice, well done. Take your legs out to the side, your arms out to either side. Now, whichever side you decide to go to with your legs, send your head in the opposite direction. Nice spinal twist. Head back to center. Knees back to center. Keep them low, just keep them skimming across your torso all the way up to the other side. And turn the head as well. Opposite direction. Head back to center. Knees back, thighs back. Everything back. Give yourself a hug. Bring your forehead up. And bring yourself into Shavasana. Well done. Good job. Make sure that you have a little space. We'll come into Shavasana just for a moment here. So breathe. Give yourself space. Take up lots of room. This is all for you, this space. Take up as much as you need. Take your legs away from each other. Take your arms away from your body. Be comfortable. Don't go to the point where you are just taking up space for the sake of taking up space. Take up what you need. Allow air to circulate fully around your body. Have your palms facing upwards, ready to receive any wisdom, any energy, anything that you need directly in. Take your breath down into your toes, stretch them, wiggle them, move your feet. Push your left leg away from you and then push your right leg away from you. And then let them completely relax. Give them permission to rest, to come to a stop, just to pause and breathe. And the same with your hips, just move them from side to side. Stretch. And the same thing, just let them rest to a place of complete and utter relaxation. You've done all the work, and now your body has a chance to absorb all of that stretching and moving and unblocking of any blockages, any little stuck areas you've moved, and allowing everything to flow freely. So move your arms now, lengthen your arms, send them away from you, stretch, and then allow them to rest. Move your head gently from side to side, stretch your neck, move your shoulders, and then lay everything back down in a place of complete and utter relaxation. Rest. Take deep, slow, easy breaths. And as you are here, just for a moment before you go and do all the things that you want to do and need to do in the day, just take a moment to think of 3 people in your life who you are deeply grateful for. And just imagine their faces and send them a virtual hug across the ether from you. to them. As you lie there, think of 3 things about yourself that you're deeply grateful for. And then think of 3 things in your life that you're very grateful to have. Things that bring you joy or make your life easier. And take a deep breath in and allow yourself to feel full of light and warmth and gratitude and energy. And as you breathe out, an opportunity to release and let go of anything that no longer serves you. Gently and peacefully, with your eyes closed, bring yourself to lie on your right side. And when you're ready, come up to sitting. Bring your hands together at heart center, drop your head. Notice that stretch in your neck, which is when we started our practice today. And well done for being here, well done for taking the time for yourself. Open your eyes. Just gentle, soft, unfocused gaze at the top of your fingertips. Take a deep breath in and out. As you breathe out, just bring your gaze up and namaste. Hello. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Why not go and do whatever you need to do and be amazing. Bye. Have a gorgeous day.